guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you can't tell already by this, it's a manga video, specifically my May manga haul, and your girl overspent just a tad. However, okay, some were pre-orders, but not that many, so it's fine. Let's talk about them. So I am obviously not gonna go over every single series in depth. However, I'm gonna do a cover montage because some of the covers for these mangas are just... So, let's roll the montage. So what did we think of that little montage? Obviously, I won't be able to go over every single series. However, I am gonna briefly talk about my top 10. So, without further ado, let's start off with number 1. Now, I believe I mentioned this series in my last manga video, which was my top 5 favorite manga recommendations, but it was volume 1, and that is the series Mint Chocolate. This series is so good. It is so cute and romantic and super cheesy, and I love it. So let me sum it up. Boy and his dad, mom, I think, divorced, and then girl and her mom, dad passed away. Anyways, their parents get married, so they become step-siblings. That's her crush. She has a crush on this guy, so now they have to live together. So y'all can just tell it's a comedic disaster of super awkward things that end up happening at home because, maybe she's coming out of the shower and he's like, oh, but then it's It's so good. It's so cute. I love it so much. This is such a adorable series. You know I have number 3 on pre-order. Also, I'm like, if you're watching this video to like get a thorough review, this is not. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna briefly mention what the story's about, my thoughts and stuff. I'm definitely not like a in-depth review type of person. But anyways, I love this series so much. It is super cute. If you like cheesy romances, this would be the series for you. But anyways, yeah, I picked up volume 2 this past month, so I thoroughly enjoyed reading that. All right, the next one is the one and only Kamisama Kiss. I watched the anime back in early high school and loved it so much, and I decided that I wanted to collect the manga. I mean, like, how could I not? Look at how pretty these covers are. This is probably my favorite cover that I've gotten in so far. Unfortunately, I still don't have number 1. This series is so hard to find. I don't think it's out of print, but manga is really hard to find right now. I think it's like something to do with a paper shortage. But anyways, I am collecting this series. It is so freaking cute. Honestly, it's been a while, so like bear with me for this little explanation, but her dad was in debt that I can remember, and she was like out in the night, but then she meets Tomoe and like spirit things happen. I'm like, I'm gonna have to like put up a brief summary of what this is actually about, so let's do that. Alright, yeah, so that's what it's about. It's a super cute story and I love it, and I'm excited to own the entire series soon. And next up, we obviously have Snow White with the red hair, and I'm just cluing in now that there's like one part with an apple like right at the beginning, but other than that, very different from the traditional Disney Snow White. This is such a cute story. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I love it. I'm like, Prince Zen, all the French like chef's kiss, so good. This is about a girl with red hair, and they're in her kingdom. Prince Raj is a dink and very annoying, though he gets better. But he was like, you're gonna marry me because your hair is pretty, and she's like, oh hell no. And then she like runs away, cuts her hair, and she meets Prince Zen of Wisteria, and just, it's so good. So she is a herbologist, so she is studying herbology, and she ends up going with Zen to his kingdom, and she studies at the castle to become a like professional herbologist, and it is such a cute story. Obviously it follows Shiryuki, Zen, we've got Mitsuhide and Kiki, love them. They need to be together. I ship them so hard. I haven't gotten to that part in the book, so, but I'm not gonna spoil anything. Like, read the manga, go watch the anime. It is very good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is just, I'm like, look at her little face. Ah, she's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I could go on forever about this one. All right, so this next one is a one-shot that I saw someone on my Mangagram have on their story, and it is called Ride Your Wave the Manga. It is based on an anime film, and let me just tell you, I cried my eyes out. This was like so sad. I can only imagine what the actual movie would be like, but I'm like, I sobbed like a baby. I was like, I'm like, just like holding it makes me want to cry. I'm like, it's so sad but happy, and I'm like, it deals with loss and like moving on and stuff, but I'm just like, it made me so sad. It was like really upsetting, but it was so cute. I'm like, I probably won't open this for like a really long time because I know it's gonna make me sad, and I'll need to wait till I forget it and then see it on my bookshelf and be like, I wonder what that's about, and then I'll just repeat the circle of sadness. But it is really cute, and it is such a like a pretty manga. It's so good. Okay, did I mention what it was about? No? Okay, so this girl, this guy, they fall in love. Tragic accident happens, not gonna spoil anything, but something bad happens, and that's what made me cry. So that's all I'm gonna say is, yeah, her and him fall in love and something bad happens. So if you wanna cry, this was really good. Recommend. Like, Can I deduct it points because it made me cry? I'm like, it was so good, but it made me cry. Like, okay, 9.5 out of 10. I'm deducting it points for that. All right, for this next 1, 2, 3 mangas, for those of you who are 18 and below, please fast forward to this time here because we're gonna be talking about some yaoi, so you need to keep going. All right, have you moved on? You should be. For those of you who are 18 plus, I've got some manga for you. Let's talk about Fight Island. This manga was so funny and also very graphic, so like just a heads up. This is not your stereotypical boy love BL yaoi shonen ai, or however this is pronounced. This is not your stereotypical manga regarding that. This was very different. So let me sum it up. On an island somewhere, there's a bunch of different like tribes and they fight. How can I explain this so that I don't get demonetized? They have armor on their and they like have to make the other person. It's really good and really funny, and some of the characters are super cringy, but I'm like, I'm ready for volume 2, TBH. I'm like, it was so good. I'm not gonna show you anything that's in here. I do not want to get demonetized as it is. I'm gonna have to beep out a bunch of these words, but I'm like, this was freaking hilarious. I cannot wait for volume 2. So those of you who are 18 plus, this was a freaking funny read if you're into this kind of thing. So 10 out of 10, Fight Island. Next up, regarding the boy love stuff, is Given. Now, oh my gosh, I watched the anime halfway through reading the books, and Given is, it's so good. And it's not like super spicy or anything, but it is just, it's like heartwarming. I'm like, this poor boy has been through so much. I'm like, it talks about suicide and mental health, and obviously we have the music aspect. I'm like, if you've seen, after you read the books, definitely watch the anime because it puts the tunes of what they're actually like singing in the books. Absolutely amazing. The anime was fantastic. The books are amazing. I am so excited to read this next one here, and obviously I have number 6 on pre-order, and supposedly it's the last one, and I'm very sad because I really like this story. Oh my gosh. So let me sum it up because this is, I can't, it's such a good story, like 11 out of 10. So we have Mufuyu, and he carries a guitar with him all the time, and he meets Uenoyama. Oh my gosh, I'm pronouncing these wrong, sorry. He meets this boy, and the guy's like, oh, what's wrong with your guitar? You know, you can fix that. And he's like, you can fix it. So he fixes Mufuyu's guitar, and he ends up joining their band and stuff, but then you find out that his boyfriend died, and it's just, it's so good. I'm like, I can't, it's so good. I'm gonna have to do another thing, so here's my little insert of what the book's about. Okay, do you see what I mean? Like, it's so cute, and I don't want it to end. It's so precious. My BBs. I love it so much. Like, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. So good. Cannot recommend this manga enough. Love it. And last, of course, for the BL train is Don't Be Cruel plus number 2. So this is just the side story stuff, and it's got some fluff, it's got some spice, if you know what I mean, some little bit of spice. I love this series so much. This was probably my first ever boy love series that I ever got, and I think I actually got it by mistake. I had grabbed it to move it out of the way, and then it just ended up in my pile of books from when my bookstore downtown was still open, and it's since closed. And I remember reading it, and I was like, wait, this is actually really cute, and thus I became a Fujoshi. Anyways, years later, I have up till volume 9, I have the first plus, and now I have the second plus, which came out recently, and it is so cute. Alright, so the story starts off in volume 1, not gonna talk about this one, because it's more of the side stories, with Negumasa. He is an honor student, and he gets caught cheating on an exam by none other than yours truly, and he does actually get blackmailed into sexual activities with this guy here. But you go through the story and, you know, they end up falling in love. And yes, that might sound cringy to some, but I think it is a very sweet how it comes to be and stuff, because they do get past the whole blackmail thing and they resolve that in a non-violent, I mean, like, he gets slapped on the cheek, but like, that's couples for you. It is a very, very cute story, and he's such a sweet boyfriend to him. I'm like, he's also super attractive once he obviously dyes his hair, because he was a blonde-haired delinquent in the first few volumes, so looks a lot better with the black hair in my opinion. Anyways, I love this series. If you're into boy love, I can't recommend this series enough. It is so good. It's still ongoing. We're on volume 9. Volume 10 comes out, I don't know, it hasn't been released yet, but good series. We love it. Alright, so back in the realm of shoujo manga, we have A Sign of Affection, which deals with disabilities, hearing disabilities. She is so cute. The first volume was so precious. So she speaks sign language because she can't hear, and this guy also speaks sign language, and they're falling in love. The first one, like, you don't super see it yet, but I'm hoping in the second volume we get a little bit of progress. But I just love how that it touches on that subject. There's also another manga that I really want to read called Perfect World, where the boy is in a wheelchair and dealing with disabilities. So I'm really happy to see more like romance mangas that deal with disabilities coming out, because I'm like, they're so cute as well. Everyone deserves love, and I think it's really important to bring these kinds of things into the light and share them more openly and like talk about them so that people aren't like awkward about it. You know what I'm saying? So I really love this manga. I think it's so cute. It's also like a bigger one. Like if we were to compare it to a regular sized manga, it's bigger. And I like the bigger ones, though with the bigger ones come a bigger price. But I definitely think it's worth it. I think the cover is just super, super cute. It's also like a really soft pastel, and I'm very excited. She's just so cute. I love it. So far, this story is like 9.5 out of 10 for me. I'm sure it will go up with me reading the second one, but this is a good series. I really like it. Alright, I don't know, have I been counting? This is number 9. This is Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, a series that I only started more recently. It is so cute. I have the rest on order up till, I guess, whatever's the most current. I think it's 11. I have till number 5 or 6. So, but I have the rest on order because it's that good and I'm really enjoying it. So, it's about this girl and she dreams of fantasy, falling in love, like Cinderella type thing, but none of her friends know that. They know her as like the hard worker, like top student, does all her homework, that kind of thing. They know her as that, so they don't think she's like wanting like romance. She doesn't have time for romance, but that's what she wants. She just wants romance. So it is an age gap series, just a heads up for those. I think it's an age gap of 8 years. The guy that she is in love with is 24 and she's 16. So I know that's a trigger for someone, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna spill the tea now on that. But anyways, so one day at their school, they're filming a show and this guy happens to be on that. He's like a super famous celebrity, the 24-year-old, and she bumps into him outside of school and he's got like a butt fetish and it is hilarious. He's like, oh yeah, that's like prime tushy, and I'm like, wait, this is so funny. And then they just, because she like saw his hidden side that he keeps from the internet, they kind of get entangled and she ends up borrowing his shoes because he dragged her and her shoe broke and he let her borrow his, and then he like comes and like Cinderella slips it on in the middle of class and everyone's like, she has a celebrity doing that for her. That's crazy. It is so cute. A lot of people say that it's super predictable, and I'm like, you know what? I love a good cheesy, predictable shoujo manga. I think they're super good. So I'm really excited to finish this series, and then maybe I'll do actual like proper reviews on series. Who knows? I don't know. I'm very excited. So I got volumes 1 through 5 this month, and I'm loving it. Alright, and last, but certainly not least, is Dengeki Daisy. I hope I'm saying that right. This is probably my favorite series of the entire month. Oh my goodness. I was inspired to start this series by someone I follow on my manga account. They had this series. They were just taking pictures of the manga on their story, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks like pretty good. I ordered the first 2 volumes, read them, and then I'm like, I need the rest of the series, like, right now. So I ordered as many as I could. Unfortunately, I can't find volumes 10 and 11 anywhere in English. Anyways, this follows the story of this girl here. Her parents, they died when she was little, so she was left with her older brother and her. However, her brother passes away from, you'll find out in the book if you read it, and the only thing he leaves her is a cell phone with a single contact in there called Daisy, and he says that if you contact Daisy, Daisy will be there to help you. Daisy will be there to like brighten your day and stuff. And so she is texting this person all the time, like asking like, hey, like I'm having a bad day, and he's like, well, don't worry, like your smile is like super bright and like makes the world a better place. I'm like exaggerating, that's not like an actual line, but like Daisy's just such a good person and he's always there to help. However, Daisy's a little closer than he may appear, and we find out who Daisy is in the first or second volume. It's just so good. And then there's a whole thing with like Daisy's a hacker and lots of things are going on, and now she's being targeted and like kidnapping, but she's also kind of a badass, but she's also like really stupid sometimes, and it's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, I'm like, their relationship is so cute, and she's so adorable, and Daisy's so nice. I literally cannot talk well enough about this series. It is so good. Like, it has, I don't want to say action, but I'm like, it's not just your stereotypical shoujo romance cheesy comedy. Like, it's got comedy, it's got the romance, but then it's also got like suspense and like really good plot. But anyways, yes, this series is really good. Hail Dengeki Daisy. So good. Cannot recommend enough. 100 out of 10. That is my final answer. Alright guys, that is it for my May manga haul. I hope you enjoyed me talking about my top 10 favorites. Obviously, I could not go through every single one of these, as that would take literally forever. However, I want to do more of these type of review videos for manga, so perhaps you will see some of them in another video. But alas, that is all the time I have today. So I love you guys a lot, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!